Okay, so I recently ran into a little bit of a snag when I was drop tuning my guitar, and I'm not someone who normally drop tunes. I generally play in regular E standard, but I wanted to play some Motley Crue songs, and I shouldn't say most, I don't know. I know that the song in particular that I was wanting to play was in D standard, which meant I was going to have to take every one of my strings and tune them down one whole step, not just drop D, but the whole entire fretboard was going to be dropped, all 6 strings. So the problem I ran into, and I'm sure many of you have ran into this problem, is when you're drop tuning, you're taking tension off of your spring or your strings, and then you got your springs on the back side of your guitar that are pulling to balance that pressure on a tremolo bridge. So the problem I was having was it was pulling the bridge down into the body of the guitar, and then I would end up having to tune it back to get the bridge back high, and then I'm back, sharp, and I could never get it actually balanced. I was just having all kinds of problems because I couldn't put the tuning block in either because the bridge was being pulled in, and the tuning block that I have is custom fit that I'd made to fit the back of this guitar, and that tuning block sits in this gap here, and as you're pulling the strings tight, then it pulls the bridge against your tuning block, and basically it gives you a fixed bridge while you're tuning, and then once you're tuned, you can use the claw to pull the tension back and release the block, and then you stay in tune. It's perfect. So that's essentially how you would tune a tremolo bridge. But I couldn't do that because the bridge was being pulled in. So what I went ahead and did was I took the springs, and I'll do a close-up of this, and I took one spring out and dropped it from 4 springs to 3 springs, moving one of the springs to the middle, keeping the bridge balanced, and releasing some of the pressure on the claw here, and that allowed the bridge to relax enough that it went back up to where I can put my tuning block in, tune it to D standard, and then release the block. And now I'm in D standard, and I'll do some close-ups to show you. The bridge is nice and flat, and I have some pictures also, or some video also, where I took with all 4 springs in, and you can see the bridge sunken in. So anyway, I hope that this is helpful, and for someone who might be out there who wants to drop tune and are running into a problem with the bridge dropping down, and it's not just so much that the bridge is dropping into the body, that in itself is a problem, but you also end up with fret buzz on all frets, all strings. So you want the action to be high enough to not get your fret buzz as well. So anyway, that was how I solved the problem, and like I said, I'll do some close-ups to show you exactly what I did, and I hope this is helpful to somebody out there, and they can see a way to keep their guitar in tune at a drop tune like that, and also keeping their action and their bridge at the proper height. Now notice the bridge is no longer flat, it's sinking in. I don't know how well you can see that. The back of the bridge is now sinking into the body, and it's not flat. And that is the problem when you have 4 springs. So I have 4 springs on here, and it's too much pressure, too much tension I should say, pulling on the strings, and it's pulling the bridge down. And every time I pull the strings tight enough to pull the bridge flat and level again, then I'm way too sharp and I'm not in D standard anymore. So the other problem I have is your bridge block doesn't fit tight. See, it's loose, it just falls out. So the bridge block is completely useless with 4 springs. So the fix that I did is I'm going to remove one of the springs and put it down to 3 springs only, and then that 1 spring will be in the middle to keep it balanced. And then I'll also reduce some of the pressure with the claw. Okay, as you can see, Right now the bridge is sitting very flat and level with the body of the guitar, and that's exactly what we want. And that's after having it perfectly set up with the springs on the back. So notice what I did here. I put the spring in the middle and I removed the fourth spring. So now we're down to 3 springs, and the claw here has been moved out also, just some to reduce some of the pressure that's pulling on the springs, or on the strings, not springs. So as a result, now the back of the bridge here is no longer being pulled so hard because there's only 3 springs and not 4 springs. And then I had reduced some of the pressure here as well. So that's part of the fix that I had done. Now notice also the bridge block that I had made that helps hold the, when you're tuning, it fits perfect in there right now with the 3 springs only. There's still enough pressure from the strings that it's pulling against the block, but the block can come out. Okay, so hope this was helpful, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.